You have been lied to. From the moment you were old enough to understand language, modern society has been feeding you a very specific, very dangerous falsehood. They have taught you that to be a good man, you must be harmless, that you must be agreeable, that aggression, power, and the capacity for violence are inherently evil things that must be suppressed at all costs. They told you that the path to virtue is the path of weakness. This is a lie designed to keep you docile, and if you believe it, it will ruin your life. We need to make a very clear distinction today. There is a massive divide between being peaceful and being harmless. If you are incapable of violence, if you are incapable of asserting yourself, you are not peaceful. You are merely harmless. A rabbit is not virtuous because it does not eat the wolf. A rabbit doesn't eat the wolf because it cannot. Its morality is based entirely on its incompetence. It has no choice in the matter. A true warrior, however, is capable of immense destruction, yet chooses restrained peace. That choice is what defines virtue. There is an ancient proverb, often associated with the warrior philosophers of the East. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. This single sentence encapsulates the entire paradox of the masculine path. It is a concept that blows the mind of the modern nice guy, because it forces him to confront an uncomfortable reality about his own existence. Think about the samurai. They were educated men. They studied calligraphy, poetry, and complex philosophy. They practiced intricate tea ceremonies that required immense patience and delicacy. They cultivated their gardens. Yet they walked through life every single day with 2 swords strapped to their waist. One long katana for open combat and a shorter wakizashi for close quarters. They lived every moment of their lives within arm's reach of instruments designed purely for death. Why? Because they understood a fundamental truth about the human condition that we have forgotten. They understood that true peace is not the absence of danger. True peace is the mastery of danger. You cannot protect the garden if you do not know how to fight. If the war comes to the gardener, he is panicked. He is useless. He is a victim waiting to happen. But if the war comes to the warrior in the garden, he simply puts down his pruning shears, picks up his sword, and handles the situation with disciplined resolve. This is the crux of the issue. Virtue is not the absence of teeth. Virtue is having teeth and knowing exactly when to never use them. It is the disciplined restraint of power. If you have no option to be dangerous, your kindness is not a choice. Your agreeableness is not a virtue. It is simply a lack of options. You are nice because you are afraid of what might happen if you aren't. That is not morality. That is cowardice disguised as morality. So how does this ancient battlefield philosophy apply to you in the modern world? You are likely not walking around with steel strapped to your hip. The principle remains absolute. The swords have just changed form. Many men today are suffering from a crippling disease of agreeableness. They are terrified of conflict of any kind. So they agree with opinions they don't actually hold. They say yes to requests they don't have time for. They let bosses, partners, or friends walk over their boundaries because the thought of standing up for themselves and causing friction is paralyzing. They tell themselves this makes them good people. It doesn't. It makes them resentful people. When you cannot defend your own boundaries, you unconsciously start to hate the people who cross them. And worse, you start to hate yourself for letting them do it. This hidden resentment is poison to the soul. It turns you bitter, passive-aggressive, and eventually weak. To be a good man, to be a man capable of protecting himself, his family, and his peace of mind, you must develop the capacity to be formidable. You must forge your modern swords. What does it mean to be dangerous today? It means developing physical strength. A weak body commands no respect, least of all from yourself. The discipline required to build a capable body is the foundation of the warrior mind. It means becoming articulate. The ability to speak your mind clearly, concisely, and firmly, even when what you have to say is unpleasant, is a weapon. It means becoming competent. Becoming so skilled in your field or your craft that you do not rely on the validation of others for your survival. It means having the ability to say a hard no, looking someone in the eye, and having the spine to back it up without apologizing for your existence. When you possess these capacities, when you know you can handle yourself physically, intellectually, and financially, a strange shift occurs in your mindset. You stop being reactive. You stop being afraid. You become truly calm. The samurai with the swords at his waist doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to posture or act tough. He is quiet. He is polite. He can afford to be gentle, precisely because he knows what he is capable of if pushed too far. His calmness is born from supreme confidence in his own capability. This is the goal, to build yourself into a monster and then learn to control that monster with absolute discipline. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, explored this deeply. He argued that you must integrate your shadow, those darker, aggressive, primal parts of your nature. If you deny your capacity for aggression, it enslaves you. It comes out in weird ways, like anxiety, neurosis, or sudden outbursts of ineffective rage. But if you acknowledge it, respect it, and bring it under the control of your conscious mind, it becomes the fuel for your strength. The world is a volatile place. It always has been. History is a long catalogue of the strong preying on the weak. Civilization is just a thin veneer over this reality. The world does not care about your feelings. It does not care if you are nice. The war will eventually come to your garden in one form or another. It might be a financial crisis, a personal attack, or a direct threat to your family. When that day arrives, who will you be? Will you be the harmless gardener, begging for mercy that will not come? Or will you be the warrior who has quietly sharpened his blade every single day, ready to protect what matters? Stop aiming to be harmless. Start aiming to be capable of terrible things, and then spend the rest of your life disciplining that capability. That is the only path to true peace. That is the way of the warrior mind. If you are ready to stop being a gardener and start forging your sword, subscribe to Hagakure Minds. We are just getting started.